My name's Cody Lee. I'm the owner of Everyday Technologies. We're located here about 30 minutes north of Dayton in Sydney, Ohio. Everyday Technologies is a sheet metal fabricator, and we specialize in contract manufacturing for OEMs. A lot of our customers are in the contract or construction industry. Our core competencies at Everyday are laser blanking, forming on press brakes, welding, and powder coating. I bought Everyday Technologies about 3 years ago, and coming into the business, one of the first things that management had shared with me was the lack of a up-to-date ERP system. The ERP that we had prior to Plex, we'd had for about 15 years plus, and it did some of the basic functions, but it was really lacking a lot of the, I guess, modern or more robust features that you get from a current ERP system. Our previous system was on a local server, and so we had the challenges that we had with that. So the cloud-based functionality of Plex, we hadn't really known anything like that existed. Having access anywhere in the shop or any of our facilities, even just being able to view things from home or whenever you're traveling is great. And so we kind of started going down that path, and we looked at a few different ERPs, but we really focused on Plex. And we spent a few months kind of going through that diligence phase, and ultimately got introduced to the team at Plex, and really seemed like a good fit for our business at the time. So when we went live with Plex, we had a few workstations, computers, things like that out on the plant floor, but there wasn't a whole lot of that. So one of the first things we had to do is kind of identify where we wanted to have these workstations at, how many we needed, what that was going to look like. And so through that process, we actually kind of identified a typical workstation, and then worked together with our team and did trainings with the folks out on the floor so that they could get familiar with the control panel and just kind of get familiar with all the ins and outs of the ERP. The number one thing that we were able to do with Plex that we weren't able to do in our old ERP system was actually have a perpetual live inventory. So what that means for us is, versus having spreadsheets and different things that folks are managing kind of scattered throughout the business, we're able to have that in one system and have a live inventory. So every purchase component, every manufactured component that we make has a barcode and a container that exists live within Plex. One of the things that we were pretty pleasantly surprised with Plex implementation and kind of living through the transition of the ERP is how the work sort of flows through our business. So everything from a customer order to creating the job to how it's introduced to the plant and how it works through the plant. Historically, we kind of did this batch style approach where jobs were introduced to the facility and they would kind of all be grouped together no matter what the material was, thickness, different attributes of the job. Versus today with Plex, we actually have individual components. So everything we make here is got a unique part number and is a component that's individual to the parent part itself. And so what that's allowed us to do is kind of isolate capacity at each work center so that the folks are working on only the jobs that they need, and that we're cutting parts and making parts only as they're needed. We're a year into it now after going live, so we just kind of started scratching the surface. But we had a lot of quick wins that we're starting to identify, in these last several months as the team kind of settles in and gets familiar with Plex. So there's a lot of things that we know that exist out there that the team's excited to implement.